His face is everywhere, on t-shirts, painted across walls, and glowing on your phone screen. A man who, just a few years ago, was unknown to the world. Today, he is hailed as Africa's youngest revolutionary leader. His name, Ibrahim Traoré. But here's the question. Is he truly the savior millions believe he is? Or is this image, this cult, just a phantom carefully crafted to deceive? The drums intensify as we cut to shots of massive crowds waving Burkinabe flags, chanting his name, holding posters with his face. In late 2022, Burkina Faso was spiraling. Islamist insurgencies were ripping the country apart. Villages were falling under extremist control. The government of Paul-Henri Damiba was collapsing under the weight of promises it couldn't keep. And then on September 30th, a young captain, barely 34 years old, stormed into the spotlight. That man was Ibrahim Traoré. At first, the world thought this was just another coup in a continent that had seen dozens. Another officer grabbing power, another soldier in camouflage pretending to be a politician. But within months, something strange began to happen. His image was everywhere. His speeches were flooding social media. His name was being whispered far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. Suddenly, Traoré was no longer just a leader. He was becoming a legend. But legends don't just happen. Legends are built. The transformation of Ibrahim Traoré from soldier to Pan-African savior did not happen by accident. Videos began spreading online showing him speaking with fire in his voice, standing against imperialism, denouncing France, and calling for African unity. Memes portrayed him as the modern reincarnation of Thomas Sankara, the legendary revolutionary of Burkina Faso. In some clips, crowds looked bigger than they really were. In others, his words sounded almost too perfect, too cinematic. And then came something even stranger, an AI-generated video that went viral. In it, the American singer R. Kelly appeared to praise Ibrahim Traoré. The video looked real. Millions saw it. People believed it. But the truth? R. Kelly never recorded that message. It was a fabrication. A product of digital manipulation designed to amplify Traoré's cult of personality. This was the moment the line between reality and illusion began to blur. If technology could make celebrities endorse him, what else could it make people believe? In Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, murals of Traoré stretch across entire buildings. On TikTok, slick edits of him giving speeches are mixed with dramatic music, flashing captions, and cheering crowds. On Telegram, AI-designed posters depict him as a warrior king, sometimes even alongside Russia's Vladimir Putin, both standing as symbols of anti-Western resistance. This isn't organic. This is a machine at work. A propaganda machine designed to craft a myth to turn a young officer into a messianic figure. But here's the paradox. While this image spreads like wildfire across Africa, inside Burkina Faso, reality paints a much darker picture. Violence is still escalating. Just last month, nearly 50 soldiers were killed in a single attack. Jihadist groups still hold vast territories. Families are still displaced. Hunger and fear remain daily realities. So why is the world seeing only the heroic version of Ibrahim Traoré? Why are we being fed a picture of a man larger than life, while the truth on the ground tells a very different story? Let's imagine this through the eyes of one person. A young student in Bamako, Mali, opens her phone. She scrolls past a TikTok where Traoré is speaking, his voice full of passion, subtitles proclaiming, "Africa must rise against the West." She pauses. She feels inspired. She shares it with her friends. Within hours, it spreads across her school, then her neighborhood. Soon hundreds are reposting it, believing they've discovered Africa's new revolutionary hero. But here's the twist. That video wasn't filmed in Bamako. It wasn't even organic content. It was cut, edited, and amplified by networks thousands of miles away. Networks with an agenda. The girl doesn't know this. Her friends don't know this. But the myth is working. This is how cults of personality are built, not by truth, but by repetition. Show an image enough times, glorify it enough, and people will start believing in it. And Ibrahim Traoré's cult is no exception. But this brings us to the most dangerous question of all. Who really benefits from this image? Is it Ibrahim Traoré himself, using the cult of his persona to cement power at home? Is it Russia, eager to replace French influence in Africa with its own, using digital propaganda as a weapon? Or is it the frustrated African youth desperate for a hero, willing to believe in anyone who promises to fight back against colonial shadows? Maybe it's all of them. But one thing is certain. Once an image becomes larger than reality, controlling it is nearly impossible. Traoré may be seen as a messiah today. But what happens when reality, terrorist attacks, famine, failed policies, collides with the myth? At the heart of it all lies the phantom hero. A man of flesh and blood transformed into something almost supernatural by digital tools, AI propaganda, and political hunger. To some, he is Africa's last hope. To others, he is a dangerous illusion, and this is only the beginning. A leader is only as strong as the truth behind him. But what if the truth is hidden behind layers of digital smoke and mirrors? What if the hero we see is not the leader he really is? This is the rise of Ibrahim Traoré, the phantom hero. Everywhere you look, the same face, the same voice, the same message, Ibrahim Traoré, Africa's savior. But behind these perfectly edited videos, these larger-than-life posters, lies a question far more dangerous than the images themselves. Who is creating this flood of propaganda, and why? At first glance, it looks like ordinary people are making these videos. Young supporters with smartphones, cutting clips of speeches, adding music, and spreading the message. But when researchers started digging deeper, a different story emerged. Many of these accounts had strange patterns. Thousands of followers, but no personal posts. Videos uploaded at the exact same time, across multiple platforms, with identical captions. Graphics that looked too polished, too professional to be the work of amateurs. Analysts traced some of these networks back to content farms linked to Russian disinformation campaigns. The fingerprints were familiar: bots amplifying posts, AI-generated avatars leaving supportive comments, and professionally edited propaganda disguised as grassroots support. It wasn't just random enthusiasm, it was strategy. In the past, propaganda needed newspapers, radio, or television. Today, it needs only one thing: algorithms. Artificial intelligence has become the new weapon of influence. Need a video of a global celebrity praising your leader? AI can make it. Need posters showing your president as a fearless warrior? AI can design them in seconds. Need fake news articles showing Western governments plotting against you? AI can generate convincing headlines and fake quotes instantly. One of the most infamous examples was the viral R. Kelly clip. In it, the disgraced American singer supposedly praised Ibrahim Traoré, calling him a true revolutionary. It spread like wildfire. Millions believed it. But the truth? R. Kelly never said those words. The video was fabricated, created by AI, and pushed by propaganda networks. If a single fake video can capture millions of views, imagine what an entire coordinated campaign can achieve. But here's the secret behind propaganda. It doesn't need to be true. It only needs to be repeated. Show a young man in Dakar, Senegal, 100 clips of Traoré standing tall, defying the West, and he begins to believe. Show a worker in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, endless posters comparing Traoré to Sankara, and the image begins to stick. Show a teenager in Ouagadougou 1,000 TikToks of cheering crowds and revolutionary slogans, and suddenly he feels part of something bigger. Propaganda doesn't convince with facts, it convinces with feelings. And Ibrahim Traoré's cult is fueled by one powerful emotion: hope. Hope that Africa can finally break free from Western control. Hope that someone young, charismatic, and fearless can restore dignity. Hope that the old cycles of corruption and failure can finally end. But hope can be weaponized. And that is exactly what is happening. Picture this: a 19-year-old soldier stationed in a dusty outpost in northern Burkina Faso. He's tired, hungry. He hasn't been paid in months. His village was attacked by insurgents just weeks ago. His faith in the government is gone. Then, one evening, he scrolls through his phone. A video appears. Traoré, standing firm, declaring, "Africa must rise. We will take back our land. We will build our future." The soldier's heart pounds. He feels pride. He feels strength. He feels that maybe, just maybe, there is a reason to keep fighting. He doesn't know the video was edited in Moscow. He doesn't know the crowd sounds were added in post-production. All he knows is that for the first time in months, he feels hope, and that is the genius of disinformation. It doesn't need to convince the mind. It only needs to touch the heart. Who controls the narrative? This raises the real question: who is controlling this machinery of disinformation? There are three possible answers. Ibrahim Traoré himself. His government may be complicit in amplifying these messages, using propaganda to strengthen his grip on power at home. Russia and its allies. By flooding Africa with pro-Traoré content, they weaken Western influence and replace it with their own, gaining access to resources and alliances. the people themselves. Many young Africans, frustrated with poverty and foreign domination, amplify these messages voluntarily. They don't care if the videos are fake, they care about the symbol, that in truth, it may be a combination of all three. And that's what makes it so powerful, the shadow and the sword, but here lies the danger. The more the image grows, the harder it becomes to separate myth from reality. If millions believe Traoré is an unstoppable revolutionary, then every failure on the battlefield, every village lost, every soldier killed, becomes harder to explain, and when reality clashes with illusion, the consequences can be explosive. History has shown us this before. Leaders elevated to mythical status only to fall when the truth could no longer be hidden. So how long can the machinery keep running? How long before the cracks in the illusion begin to show? Narrator, low, ominous tone. This is the machinery that fuels the cult of Ibrahim Traoré, a digital empire of illusion. But behind every machine, there is always a human hand pulling the strings. In the next chapter, we will step deeper into the shadows to uncover the dangerous collision between myth and reality. What if the real war is not fought with guns, not with bombs, but with images on your screen? What if the battlefield is invisible, and the enemy is not who you think? This is where the cult of Traoré enters its most dangerous phase. Because now, it's no longer about who controls the land. It's about who controls the narrative. For centuries, empires controlled colonies with soldiers and steel. But today, it's algorithms and AI-driven propaganda that shape the destiny of nations. And Ibrahim Traoré, whether knowingly or unknowingly, has become the centerpiece of this digital chessboard. Look around. A single speech of Traoré, posted on TikTok or YouTube, gets millions of views across Africa. Entire pages dedicated to him appear overnight. Edits, montages, slogans, some clearly created by professional studios, others seemingly by grassroots supporters. But here's the question. How much of it is real, and how much is engineered? Experts have begun to notice a strange pattern. Pro-Traoré content doesn't just spread, it explodes in synchronization. Dozens, sometimes hundreds of accounts posting the same clips, the same quotes, often with identical hashtags. That's not organic. That's a strategy. But who benefits from it? Some say it's African youth, desperate for a leader who dares to defy Western dominance. Others whisper it's rival powers, Russia, China, or even shadowy networks, using Traoré's image as a weapon of influence. And here's the twist. AI is rewriting reality. Deepfake-style edits make Traoré's speeches look sharper, more powerful, even when they weren't. Generative text engines flood comments with praises, drowning out critics. Slowly, what's authentic and what's artificial become impossible to separate. But pause for a moment. Ask yourself, if the world you see online is being filtered, curated, manipulated, are you witnessing truth or a crafted illusion? And this is where fear meets faith. Because in Burkina Faso, people don't just see Traoré as a president. They see him as a symbol of resistance, a man chosen by destiny. His words are repeated like prayers, his image carried like a talisman. This is not just politics, it's becoming religion, but every cult of personality carries a silent danger. When faith blinds reason, when loyalty replaces questioning, the line between leader and messiah begins to blur. Here's the irony. While some hail Traoré as Africa's last hope, others argue that the very tools that elevate him, the AI-driven propaganda, the echo chambers, the myth-making, are the same tools that could trap Burkina Faso in a dangerous illusion. What happens when a myth becomes bigger than a man? Because history has shown us time and again that when leaders are raised to divine status, reality often crashes down in fire. From Nkrumah to Gaddafi, from Sankara to Lumumba, the narrative was powerful, the faith was strong, but the world is ruthless. So is Traoré breaking the cycle or repeating it? One thing is certain, the invisible battlefield is already shaping Africa's future. Every viral video, every AI-generated image, every hashtag is a weapon. And while Traoré's cult continues to grow, the question remains, who is truly pulling the strings? Is it Traoré himself? Is it his supporters? Or is he just a pawn in a larger global game of digital dominance? And that is the shadow no one dares to confront. Because if the cult of Traoré is not just about faith, not just about propaganda, but about something much deeper, then the next revelation will change everything. Are you ready to see what lies behind the curtain? They called it a movement, but was it really a movement? Or was it a carefully engineered storm? Ibrahim Traoré's rise has already reshaped the political map of Africa. His speeches, his military stance, and the symbolism he carries have turned him into more than a leader, into a living legend for many. But legends can be manufactured. Let's pause here and ask, who benefits when a man becomes a myth? When thousands chant his name, when millions share his image, when social media feeds burn with his speeches, what's really at work? Propaganda? Popularity? Or a perfect blend of both? The cult of Traoré is powerful because it taps into something deeper, the hunger of the people. For years, Africa has battled with external dominance, resource exploitation, and leaders who sold their souls to foreign powers. So when Traoré stands on a podium and declares Africa will rise again, it doesn't just sound like politics, it feels like prophecy. That feeling cannot be faked. Or can it? Here's where artificial intelligence steps in. In an age where AI can create lifelike voices, generate powerful videos, and flood digital spaces with narratives, the line between reality and propaganda is thinner than ever. Imagine thousands of AI-generated clips amplifying his speeches, countless fake accounts pushing his vision, and endless waves of digital praise sculpting a single image, Traoré the Savior. Would you even notice the difference between genuine passion and programmed applause? But maybe the bigger question is, does it matter? Because whether AI is fueling it or not, the people believe. And belief is the most dangerous weapon of all. A people united under one vision can rewrite history. A people blinded by one leader can repeat it.so. What is Traoré really building? A revolution or a cult? A new Africa or a digital mirage? And here is the most chilling part. What happens when reality collides with a myth? When propaganda can no longer cover up the cracks? Will Traoré's cult rise to the challenge or collapse under its own illusion? The answer may define not just Burkina Faso, not just West Africa, but the future of global power itself. Because in the age of AI, the question is no longer who leads the people, but who programs the belief. And that is where the story of Traoré is only just beginning.